Hello, everyone. I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shikha, and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm really grateful that you're listening, subscribing, and commenting. I really appreciate the support. And in this one, I wanted to speak to you about liver flushes and a liver flush that has been recommended by Andreas Moritz. And I love this man. He's brilliant. He's not alive anymore, unfortunately. He died quite a while ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But all of the information that he shared, the precious information that he shared with the world, is still online, and you can go online and look at all the different things that he talks about on all of his books. One of the first books that I read about the stuff that he talks about is the amazing liver and gallbladder flush, or gallbladder liver flush, something like that. Amazing, and I'll share links down there. But basically, down in the description, I mean. But basically, he talks about how, obviously, and you guys probably know this already, that the liver is one of the most important detoxifying, cleansing tools in our body. It's a main organ that cleans us out. It's actually one of the main organs that we need in order to stay healthy and happy and alive. And of course, a lot of us don't even pay attention to our liver. Like, we've heard a couple of things about it. Yeah, it cleans us out when we have alcohol. Yeah, it cleans us out when it does a couple of other things. And I think we know that it gives us bile, which helps us digest fat. You might know a couple of things about it. But when I read the book, and I do recommend that you read the book because it is online, that I did not realize how many different things the liver was actually involved in, how many different roles and functions it has in the body. It's mind-boggling for me. Actually, when I was reading the book, I literally could not believe how much the liver does and how I had completely ignored it until this point in time. And I'm 37, almost 37 years old. So I read this book when I was 36, but 36 years, I had no idea how important my liver was. Now, of course, I don't drink that much, so maybe that's one of the reasons I don't care as much. I didn't care as much about the liver. I was like, well, I don't drink, so it doesn't matter. And I also don't take medication for anything, touch wood. I'm lucky enough for that, so I guess I'm, again, not thinking about the liver. But the liver also takes care of a lot of hormonal stuff. And I know I've had issues with hormones in the past, or like hormonal balance. And of course, the liver has something to do with that. The liver has a lot to do with a lot of different diseases that we get as well, like cancer and heart disease. And if you read the book, he explains it in such an amazing, beautiful manner. I really love his book and his writing style. It's no nonsense, direct to the point, really amazing information in there. So I've said really a lot of times just to emphasize that it's a good book, and I believe that all of us should read it, especially if you're an adult in this world right now with so much toxicity and so much pollution that our liver is constantly trying to clean ourselves out, but it's not able to. And that's when the problem happens, is that a lot of us, as I said, we don't realize that our liver is doing such an important job for us, and we keep on overloading our liver with toxins. So not only, of course, alcohol, drugs, and tobacco, which is the main ones, but also junk food. I eat and ate a lot of junk food in my life, and I'm sure my liver's like, what are you doing? So even if though I did not have drugs, alcohol, or tobacco, I still had a lot of junk food in my life, a lot of processed food in my life. Again, all of which kind of clogs up the liver. Obviously, there's pollution as well in the air. So air pollution. I lived in Chiang Mai, and Chiang Mai always has a lot of air pollution. So that also clogs your liver. Water, if you're not drinking clean, clear, purified water, then of course that's also going to add to the toxicity. If you're taking any kind of medication, Tylenol even, like Advil, once a week or twice a week, again, that's an overload or a little bit of an extra load on your liver. Now, of course, if we were just doing one or two of these things, it'd be fine for our liver, like it'd be able to handle it. But it's like we're doing all of it, and our liver is just completely overwhelmed. And what happens when it gets overwhelmed is that it forms these liver stones. They call them gallstones because they're made up of gall, which is bile. So they're called gallstones for that reason. But they're in the liver, so I'm going to call them liver stones in this video. And of course, you can go read online about it. I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor. I'm not recommending everyone do this liver flush. I'm recommending you go read the book and see if it's suitable for you. If you have any disease that makes you vulnerable, then obviously go talk to a doctor before you do this. I am not an expert recommending this, right? But the book, of course, says that we form these liver stones in our liver, and they clog up the system so that our liver normally produces a tablespoon or a tablespoon and a half of bile in order to help us digest fats and all that stuff. And because it gets clogged up with these liver stones, starts producing less and less gets through. And so much so that it's only like a teaspoon or less than that at points. And of course, that means our digestion is not that great and we're not able to digest all the delicious stuff that we're eating properly. We're not getting all the vitamins and minerals out of it. We're not getting all the nutrition out of it. And of course, we might eat a lot, but still be malnourished and not getting all of the goodness of the food that we're eating. So it's not just important to put the food into your mouth, it's also important for your body to be able to digest it, to be able to break it down properly and take out the good stuff from it, right? And if your liver is clogged up, it won't be able to do that. So of course I read the book and I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. It's an easy enough process. So the liver flush, like there's a specific process that you go through. And again, I recommend you go to read the book. If not the book, at least go online and Google liver flushes and it'll give you more information on how to do it. The basic essence of it is that you kind of prepare your body first. So you prepare your body by drinking apple juice or taking malic acid supplements or apple cider vinegar, certain quantities of it. So go online and check out the specific quantities. You go and you drink the liter of apple juice for the first 5 days every day, right? So it's a whole 7-day process, but the first 5 days you're not really doing anything. You're eating normally, hopefully not that much meat or cheese, but mostly vegetarian, hopefully. But for the first 5 days, you're just drinking a liter of apple juice every single day, right? And what the apple juice does is that it makes those liver stones softer, which means that when it comes out of your liver, when you kind of clean out your liver by pooping it out, it doesn't hurt your anus or your colon that much because it's soft, it's malleable. It doesn't affect your internal systems that much, right? It doesn't scrape it or anything. So again, it softens it, and that's great. And so that's day 5. So day 1 to day 5, you drink apple juice. And then on day 6 in the morning, you get up and do whatever you need to go to the toilet, blah, blah. And then before you eat anything, you drink a liter of apple juice right away. All together, 1 liter of apple juice, right? And you're going to be sitting there thinking, oh my God, that's a lot of sugar. Yeah, it is. So that's why if you don't want to do too much sugar, you can also do apple cider vinegar, as I said. Again, there's specific quantities. Go check online what it is. And so you do that, you have a bit of food, not too much of a heavy breakfast. Try to keep it light that day. Day 6 is the main real day, actually. And then if you are interested, you do a colonic or an enema around 1 or 2 p.m. And then you don't eat after noon, right? So after noon or 1 p.m., you don't eat anything at all for the rest of the day. At 6 p.m., you take your first mix of Epsom salt and water. So again, there's a very specific quantity of things you have to take. Go online and check it out. I'm not giving you the specific quantities because I don't want to confuse you. So again, you take a glass of Epsom salt, of water with Epsom salts in it. And again, the quantities are online. Go check it. And you drink that at 6 p.m. Again, you drink another glass at 8 p.m. And then at 10 p.m., which is a big one, you take a glass of olive oil and lemon juice or citrus juice of some kind, right? Now, again, the quantities are online. Go check it. As soon as you drink that 10 p.m. mix, you sit down or you lie down on your bed and you don't move for the first half an hour. You just sit there, relax, try to go to sleep. I usually just fall asleep because I'm so tired after the colonic and after the day that I'm like snoring right away. But some people don't sleep all night because it can be uncomfortable. There's a little bit of nausea. Obviously, your body is cleaning itself out. Come on, give it a chance. But if you can't fall asleep, fall asleep. Wake up in the morning at 6 a.m., take another glass of Epsom salt, 8 a.m., again, another glass, the last glass of Epsom salt, that's it. And then you're done. At around 10 a.m., 11 a.m., you can have the first light breakfast, and then the rest of the day is just normal. Now, of course, there's a lot going on in your body at the time, and there's a lot to know, a lot more to know, so go, as I said, go online, check the book. That's the best way to do it. If not the book, go online and look at other people who've done the liver flush. But what happens, and what happened to me at least, I've done 3 of these already, that every single time on Sunday morning, as soon as I took the first 6 a.m. Epsom salt mix, my body would start going into diarrhea mode and it would start getting all of these green little stones out. And if you haven't done a liver flush yet and you're standing in front of the toilet bowl and you're looking down and you're like, oh my God, what are these green stones doing in my body? Every single time I do this liver flush and I look at this at the toilet bowl and I'm like, oh my God, that was actually in my body. It was clogging up my, oh my God. So I always get a little bit perturbed by the fact that that was actually in my body, right? And so the little green stones, depending on how old they are, they're going to be darker or lighter. Depending on how long they've been growing, they can be bigger or smaller. And so there's also a lot of different sizes and shapes and colors and things like that that'll be in the toilet bowl, and obviously you can absorb it. Usually, Andreas says that people have about 3,000 to 6,000 stones in their body, depending on how clogged up you are, right? And so he implores people to kind of count them and see, how many do you have? How many did I have? How many did I take out, right? I think the first time I did one, I think 300 or 400 came out. The first one's usually not, it's because your body's getting used to it. It's not the best one. It's not the one that a lot of stones come out in. But as you know, your body's getting used to it. It's a good idea to do it the first time around just very easily. And the second time I did it, I think about 600 to 700 stones came out, a lot more than the first time. And the third time, again, a lot of stones, a lot of tiny little stones came out. I think I would say, again, 600 to 700 of them. And so I'm going to do 2 more of these. He recommends that you do a series of 6 to 8 until you don't see any stones in the toilet bowl anymore. Obviously, until you're all cleaned out. And then do one per year after that, right? So the reason that I love this is because the amount of changes and the amount of improvement that I noticed in my digestion, my body, in the skin, in my eyes, in the way my body felt and moved, in the lightness of my body, in a lot of different ways. I noticed immense improvement in my total psyche, physical, spiritual, everything, right? I felt like I was lighter. I was less clogged up. And of course, it was because my liver was more lighter. It was less clogged up. It was able to work and function properly or better than it was before. And so there's a lot to a liver flush. And I wanted to give you a brief spiel here just to say that I've done one and I love them. And I recommend that you go read the book and do them if it's suitable for you. But I found them to be so useful that I've been recommending it to everyone that I know. So I'm kind of like a liver flush aficionado. So as I said, Andreas Moritz, and he's the only one really who talks about this stuff. He's brilliant. He has a lot of amazing books on the subject matter, on health and how to use natural healing processes in order to heal yourself, which is my shindig. I love using food as medicine or natural healing as a way to bring my body back to center and back to normality rather than using medication. And so he's a big proponent of that, and he has a lot of different techniques that he talks about, liver flush being only one of them. And so go check out his books. Like, he's brilliant. His book is brilliant. The liver flushes are brilliant. I think they're a godsend for me, at least. I noticed such immense difference for myself. And again, I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor. I'm not recommending you do one. Go and check the book and read it and see if it's suitable for you. Talk to a doctor if you're vulnerable. All of that good stuff. Okay? Again, I hope this was useful. I hope that I was able to answer some of your questions. If you have any questions, you can comment below. But again, I am not an expert. I recommend you go read his book. I will link it in the description below so you can go check it out. It's available on Amazon or everywhere. It's really such a good book to read. It's such a good book to read. It really makes me, or made me at least, appreciate my body and especially my liver. Oh my God, I love my liver. I really want to bow down to it for all the different amazing things it does for me all day long without asking for anything, right? Just that I take care of it a little bit. So this is all I wanted to share with you. Again, if you have questions, comment below and I shall do a follow-up video, or I'll send you back to the book. Go read the book. Okay? Again, thank you for listening, and I shall see you the next time around. Bye for now.